Alright guys, now it's a sunny day. We're going to finish buttoning up the rest of the Integra. We're going to bleed the cooling system. Let's see, I made a list actually. We got to button up all the suspension because we took out the CV shaft, so we took some of that stuff out. Got to get the intake on, got to get the exhaust on, and got to get the cooling system put back together and flushed. So let's go. Let's start there. Then to add to this video, we're going to run this oil for about 20 minutes and dump it. Like right after we fired it up, I saw a new video from D-Sport on how to break in an engine. So we're just going to run this for about 20 minutes and dump it. And then we're going to put some AMSOIL break-in oil in. So we're going to get right to that. Alright, the radiator is in. We got the hoses on. The oil pressure sensor was leaking, so I need to get under there and fix that real quick. So we're going to fix that, then we're going to start bleeding the cooling system. Alright, so I got the Comtech air box back in, or they call it the ice box, I think, because it's super cold air, because the piping goes down there and follows to here, to this little duct here. Now, this was taped on with duct tape when I pulled it apart. I'm not seeing really where it bolts down or anything, so I'm going to have to do the same for now until I figure out a better solution. But for the most part, that's done. So I'm just going to button up all the suspension things now because I loosened like ball joints and stuff so I can get the CV shaft out and the axle nuts. Gonna do that real quick. New rotors, probably. And then we'll bleed the cooling system once I feel everything else is put together. So we're getting close to buttoning everything up. I'm literally getting all the small things ready because by the time I want coolant in here, I want everything else to be done. So yeah. So just getting little things like this here. So this may sound crazy to some of you guys, but there's a lot of amperage going through your wires. So that's what these things are for, to separate them, because what happens is they create an inductance, they create a magnetic field around them and sometimes can cause an issue. These are pretty thick, so I don't think they would have the issue, but it's still one of those things that why risk it, right? And they're a lot neater when they're in this holder. So yeah, just getting all the little things done like that. Alright, we got my favorite bleed tool here. These things are super nice for bleeding coolant systems with. So, gonna fill it up. I got the fitting out already. There's already a nice little Honda one. This radio is pretty nasty. I'm probably gonna change it out soon. I just kinda wanna get the car dialed in before I put any more money into it. Are there any leaks anywhere? No? Sick. Other than that, didn't seat right cramp. Alright, we got our coolant in. I found a coolant leak under the supercharger, but luckily it was just this hose right over here. I just forgot to tighten it, so that thing was a pain to get with the motor out, let alone in the car. So let's go fire it up. I'm a little nervous. Fire it up again, because I don't know, I'm just nervous. I psych myself out. I'm good at it. Oh, there's a big old bee there. What's up, bro? You here to hang out? No, bitch, get close. Hello. Please don't kill me. There's coolant over there, you can drink that. Okay, let's see what fires up. Ah. There we go. It is misfiring. Huh. Alright, well, it looks like we got a misfire. I do not know why. That's weird. Let me diagnose this. I figured it out. It was two of the cylinder 3 and 4 spark plug wires were backwards. Oopsie. That's kind of embarrassing. And then when I fired it up, my friend who put the throttle cable on, I think he put I'm not sure if it was just adjusted improperly or what, but I was holding it open. So like it shot up to like 5,000 RPM. I was like, oh god. So yeah, now it's idling nicely. That's smoke there, but I think it's just coolant or water or something on the header that is burning off. Yeah, there's moisture on there, so that's just burning off. Now we're just waiting for the thermostat to open up and the heater to open up and look for any leaks, I guess. So yeah. All right, guys, cooling system has been bled. I let it idle for about 20-30 minutes and kind of cycled the RPMs. I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but the day we fired this up for the first time, I actually D-Sport uploaded video on how to break in your engine. So I watched it and got a lot of good tips on how to break it in. So that oil I put in right now is going straight into the dump now. They recommend, you know, running it for 20 minutes for 2,500 RPM, so I did about that. So now I'm going to dump it out and then put some high zinc, the AMS oil, break-in oil here. I'm going to put that in with a fresh filter, and then I'm going to run it for 500 miles like that. Then I got tips of actually hammering on the car, because that compression is what seals the rings, which makes a lot of sense actually. I'm only skeptical because of the tune, but the AFRs are looking pretty good. But I'm going to drive it very easy for like the first 50 miles, make sure everything's working properly, and then I'll slowly, gradually build up into it. It is burning a bit of oil right now, I noticed, when I rev it up. I'm not sure if it's just oil from, you know, assembly, which is very possible, or it's also possibly the rings haven't set yet. I mean, we're breaking it in. That's one of the biggest things about breaking it in, is getting those rings to set. So makes me nervous, but hopefully when it breaks in, I don't see any more oil burning, or else I'm going to yeet this car off a bridge. And yeah, but let's change the oil real quick and just kind of see how it looks, because that oil is going to catch all the crap that's come out of the car. So any little metal shavings, any dirt, silicone from the gaskets, whatever, we're going to catch it right now. So here's the drain plug. It's magnetic. Doesn't really have that much crap on it, so that's a really good sign actually. That is a good sign. So let's get that fresh oil in and we'll go from there. For anyone who wasn't paying attention at the beginning of the video, this is ATF. We're pouring fresh ATF in here right now. The cleanest for the motor, because those detergents are determined to seal your rings. You know what? Fuck, it's AMS oil. It's AMS oil. Fuck this joke. Stupid joke. Alright guys, we got the fresh break-in oil in. It sounds a lot better already. We're just we hear a little bit of valve train ticking, but that could just literally be the sound of camshafts whirling.
And on doing this, it's actually not the head that's ticking. It's something else. You can't actually
Maybe it's just injectors ticking.
Well, it kind of actually sounds, I was going to say, it kind of sounds like injectors, but if you put this up to even the exhaust ports, you can't hear it.
Okay.
So, I actually don't think it's valve train noise. It might be something completely like a pulley or something. It's the intake, not the exhaust.
Supercharger ticking. It might just be fuel pressure or something.
I mean, it sounds fine to me.
Yeah, it sounds, I mean, injectors do make noise, so that's probably it. Yeah, nothing to write home about there. Sweet. All right, let's go get some insurance on this bad boy and go for a drive. All right, guys. It's actually a couple days later. I did drive it a little bit. I found a coolant leak, which turned out to be very easy to fix. It was just a loose hose that I forgot to put a hose clamp on. That was easy. But in the process of fixing that, I was literally putting the car on jack stands, and the oil pressure gauge, the aftermarket one that was in here, broke. So that's cool. So I fixed that. It dumped all the AMS oil out, so I had to go buy more AMS oil. So I got more. So now we're driving it, and it's not smoking nearly as much now already. It's only been 10 miles, and it's already like not puffing. I'm not sure if the rings have set. They're probably not fully set. I haven't done any like good like hard throttle like high load hits to the car yet, which helps the piston ring seat. I'm taking it easy for about 50 miles, make sure everything looks good, and then I'll probably start rolling into it a little more. The blinkers blink fast, but they all work, so I gotta figure that out next. I think they have LEDs in them, but that's for another time. That's not my biggest concern right now. Car runs great though, super smooth. My only concern is the AFRs. They're reading at about 16 to 17 at idle, which is super lean. But as soon as you get like cruising, we're about 14, and when you roll into it a little more, like closer to 50% throttle, that's probably the furthest I've gone with this car. it gets to about 10, which is pretty good. So I'm not sure if I have an air leak at idle, and then when I give some throttle and vacuum comes through, it shuts it off. So I'll need to figure that out as well. But so far the car is good. The car is doing good. It was easy to register. Already got it registered and insured, so I'm just cruising around, breaking it in. This car is kind of loud on the inside. There's no trunk. Nothing's in the trunk, so I think that's where I'm getting a lot of my noise. It is stiff. The suspension was making noises, and I went through the rear suspension now and found a lot of loose bolts, so I tightened those up, so that's good. But the car's still really stiff, probably because of these Coney coilovers, and I don't know the spring rates. I really don't know what they are. And then I have all the bracing. The car has bracing everywhere, so the car was super rigid. So I'm just cruising around right now, and we'll be getting this car broken in. And then by the end of break-in, we'll probably be getting the car retuned, just to, you know, peace of mind, make sure it's good. I know there's a lot of factors that would cause it to detonate, and then we fixed it, but I'd still like to retune it. So anyway, guys, this is gonna be the end of this video, and thank you for watching. Thank you for going through this whole build. I know it wasn't very like organized like some other YouTubers, but my first time ever rebuilding a motor, and it was quite successful, I think. And yeah, so next video for this car, we'll probably be getting it tuned, and then we'll be tracking it, hopefully. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching.